Where are we today?
We're in Cherokee Studio in Hollywood.
All right. So we are in front of a one-of-a-kind TRIDENT console, so you don't definitely see this, we can say, ever.
Exactly.
I love the vibe in this room.
Oh, I thank you.
It sounds great.
We took a different approach. So instead of building the acoustic material inside, we put it on the roof.
Are those JBL?
Those are JBL.
Those are nice.
Yeah, those are 4220s.
These were the main monitors out at the original Cherokee Studio. Trident A ranges have,
Which is the console that we have here.
Yes,
these
correct.
are considered some of the finest
It's a hot rodded
equalizers built
A-range.
Okay. Do you do that?
Oh, I didn't do the hot rods on it. That was done way before my time.
No, we did back at Cherokee. We bought this in about '74, I think.
All right. All right. That's a beautiful board for sure.
well, there-
Yeah,
There's nothing-
I can
nothing
give you
quite like
some basic history on it. Cherokee, when they moved out of Chatsworth, moved into what was MGM Music Studios,
Yeah.
that was owned by the MGM company over on Fairfax.
Uh-huh.
And in the 30 plus years they were on Fairfax, they were basically the #1 Trident user in the U.S., especially for the A-range.
Yeah.
Well, we were the only Trident users for quite a while.
The only
Yeah,
TRIDENT
yeah.
users.
Well, you guys were the only ones that had the A-ranges.
They weren't building A-ranges for sale. They were building a new A-range for Trident Studios
Okay.
in England. And we were in the market for a new console, and we managed to talk them into selling us the one they were building for Trident Studios. And the thing was phenomenal. It was we put this up against everything. And you know, all the old vintage boards. And one of the things that's not totally accurate is that everything old is great.
Yeah, it is not. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah, and when we went through API, Neve, Helios, Caddic, God knows how many, and each one
MCI.
MCI. They send us 2 modules of each one, and you know, we're listening to them. All right, that's pretty cool, but I love consoles that don't particularly color the sound.
Yeah.
I want it to sound. When I'm listening to input, I want it to sound like output.
Yeah, yeah.
That comes out of it.
And you have a board for color for this. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
know,
why
I
you
mean,
have it.
These things, the equalizers, these were more or less modeled after the full range Pultex and has those kind of curves, which is why these are so
Well, they're very broad.
incredibly
These-
musical. Yeah.
Yeah, I know myself the Trident EQ for his like mid-range, very like
yeah.
accurate and like in your face,
these
but
aren't
still
like any
musical.
other Trident ever built. The Trident never made anything like this before or after.
I would love to hear how it sounds. You see
there'll be
the
some stuff
faders,
Yeah.
the faders. You know, it's kind of like the design of Trident EQ is like very unique with the faders instead of pots, right?
Oh yeah, of course. And the nice thing about it is you have a nice visual representation
Exactly.
of everything.
And
But-
like the A range, they kind of the bands interact with each
Yeah.
other, so like they kind of bleed.
Oh, yeah, of
if
course.
you don't
well, it's
move.
because it's such a wide queue.
Yeah.
You
So
know.
it-
And it's like a full range Pultec where you have bandwidth and you can open things up on it, and the bell curve is very nice.
It's a white
extremely
bell.
musical. A lot of time, narrow bandwidth and equalizers are more for repair work. Handmade, hand-wired, distributed desk like this, there's a lot of maintenance. There's
of
a lot
course.
maintenance to go with them. Somebody the other day was in there saying it's like a Ferrari.
Yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
maintenance, but when they're running. So once you know when you get them nailed down and stay on top of them, the thing is functioning perfectly. But you'll run into something every session. It's not like
Of
the
course.
equalizer went out. Well, patch over to another one for the moment. Don't
I know. I work on console. I actually started working on a 1975 Neve console. I don't remember which model, and I remember like sometimes we were working on it, and one of the EQs started raining, and you had to like punch it to make it stop.
Especially when they start getting upper in age, we'll have those issues.
Of course.
You know, it doesn't matter who makes it, and you just take care of them. That's the beauty of having an analog desk, is you can fix it.
Yeah, that's where you
You
come
know.
in, right?
Of course, that's where I come in a lot. So this particular desk, Cherokee had it brand new, and about 11, 12 years after it was brand new in the 80s, they gave it a facelift. So they redid a frame for it, which is why it sits like this as opposed to curving up.
I actually like this flat profile
That was
myself.
That was done for sonic purposes.
Well, so we are in front of a one-of-a-kind TRIDENT console, so
Oh, yeah.
you don't definitely see this, we can say, ever.
Exactly. So after the frame was done with the inset meters, some circuits were kind of redone. The summing circuits were done to be used with 990 op amps, as opposed to what originally was in there. So all the summing gets summed through a pair of 990s for the stereo outs, for the bus outs, for the aux send outs, and so forth, which at the time, Toby Foster, who did all the genius work on it, thought was the good way to go.
Yeah.
I would agree with him because it sounds really nice. They added the extra aux sends to give up to 10, and that's pretty much the work that was done on it.
Yeah, and it's in really good shape. I'm seeing it like right now. It's really good shape.
We've done a lot of work on it to keep it that way. But the main bulk of the channel strip, the preamp and the line amp and the equalizers were untouched because those actually worked really well and sound really good. They still do. It's nice that the EQ has such a wide curve, or wide Q, I should say.
Yeah.
Because it's like a big flat paintbrush.
Mm-hmm.
And
there was some stuff that we went through and cured without getting into the circuitry on it. But Tridents were also kind of famous for having crosstalk.
Yeah.
And the more channels you get, this is the biggest A range in existence.
Oh, wow.
And
How many channels we have here?
this is 48, and then there's a 24-channel sidecar.
Oh.
That's the monitor section.
Holy.
In the split, and the sidecar lives behind the desk, and
Wow.
we don't need it. Cherokee owned 4 A ranges,
Wow.
total, and they had one in each studio. One of the A ranges that they had when they got it new was wired backwards, so from left to right, instead of going channel 1 through channel 32,
God.
it went channel 32 to channel 1. in
That
the center.
sounds like a nightmare.
But-
but yeah.
Then the monitor section on the other side went 1 through 32, so it kind of just did this little like.
So
oh
you're
my
sitting
God.
there tracking it and trying to do monitor mix. It's like, wait a minute. So I mean, just imagine that's one, kick drum, and then left and right, but no,
Oh my
we actually
God.
wanted that way and that way.
I got confused. I got rid of my patch base because I got confused. I can't even imagine working on that.
Well,
Yeah.
they said when they came in here and we didn't notice, they started putting modules in, and we said, guys, why have you done this? You put the modules in backward. You're starting at 1 on the right-hand side.
Right.
And he said, well, you never told us not to.
Oh my God.
He's got us there.
Yeah, I mean, it has a point. Are you guys running tape? I see a tape machine there.
We do run tape. We like to run tape quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, and the other one is, a lot of it's we're probably, what do you think? I would say that over 50, probably 60% of the things have gone
That's
in here
pretty
have had to
amazing.
do-
This is the live room, right?
Yeah, this is
So-
our live room.
We were right there.
Yeah.
We have
Excuse me.
the neon light.
Yeah, well, of course, we have a custom built guitar isolation box.
Ooh, this whole thing? Hold
Yeah.
on. That's pretty damn
It'll
big.
hold 2 half stacks
Wow.
full of Marshalls if you want.
And the reason some people they say, well, put them on the room. Well, when you record bands, which is what I love to do,
Yeah.
and we do mostly bands,
You need isolation.
you need isolation because you'll do a great take and the guitar player, oh, I
Yeah.
screwed up going into the chorus. And so, okay, we'll have to do another. This, because we have the room ambient mics, which are, the room is for drums.
Yeah, of
So
course.
we've got room ambience mic there and up there. And so when sitting with these, it's amazing.
Yeah.
This thing weighs more than a car.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, we originally had it in the corner over there,
Oh, God.
and then we were going to move it one day, and we had 6 people on it, and
Yeah, we
it
thought,
didn't
why
budge.
did we build it right across from the drums? We're thinking, we thought, we'll just move it.
Yeah, it's super heavy.
6 of us, and we said, on 3, lift it, on 3.
That's
nothing
pretty cool.
So yeah, so that's the inside of one of the 2 isolation boxes.
You can run it at the same time, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it'll hold up to a Marshall half stack. In fact, we have the half cab in there
Oh,
from the other day.
nice.
Really and
nice.
the way it's designed, we have input panel over here. So once we got mics in there, we can just plug up.
Oh, super cool.
And then we have the rest of our live room, which
It looks
originally
beautiful.
was built by Raleigh Studios, wasn't it, Bruce?
Yeah, this is little Raleigh's small little stages they had. And back during the 60s, it became the Doors rehearsal hall and kind of home demo room.
Wow.
They were here for a while, and actually we were over here in the 60s with them. It was like,
Yeah,
oh my
that's
God,
awesome.
I couldn't remember it. My brother remembered.
I love this room. It's got like a cozy home,
It's
vibe to it.
a long time. This took us over 6 years to build the studio.
Yeah,
And the
a
room's-
nice ceiling.
Oh, it sounds amazing.
I can tell.
At one point, it was a Jaguar repair shop, so there's always been creative things going on here.
It's cool.
But yeah, it took 6 years of doing the decor the way we want it to. If you look around the
Not the
studio,
decor, the acoustics.
well, everything.
Yeah,
But if you look around the
decor-
studio window, for example, looking into our control room,
Mm-hmm.
those are the original seats from the Hollywood Bowl,
Oh, wow.
including number one. It was built with reclaimed wood.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. When we built the room acoustically, we liked the way the room sounded, but we know we needed isolation, especially
Right.
from being in Hollywood and being in LA, where you don't want helicopters flying over, getting in your recordings and so forth. But we really liked the way this sounded. So rather than do the traditional of we're going to put isolation between the ceiling and the roof.
Well, it's what these beams do on the thing. They break up any standing waves. You get a room that sounds much bigger than it is without any of the flapping.
Yeah.
But the wood's 100 years old.
That's
and it's
nice.
only 1 inch thick tongue and groove. So they say, well, fill us with fiberglass and sheetrock. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
We like it.
It sounds, I can tell, like, guys, I'm talking in here. It sounds really nice. It's spacey, but it's not, there's not like too much reverb.
No.
Yeah,
And
it's
what-
very
as
controlled.
live as you could. I like
Yeah.
live sounding rooms. You can always deaden them, but you
Yeah.
can never liven them up.
Yeah. There's a piano in the corner.
Yeah, the song True Colors was written on that piano.
Oh, wow.
And so we were a
The
few
guy who
other
wrote-
songs.
He wrote like a Virgin in True Colors. That was his piano. He called us. He retired and said, "I would be proud if this ended up at Cherokee."
That's awesome.
So-
damn.
We said we'd take it. But yeah, getting back to the acoustics, rather than just fill between the roof and the ceiling and so forth, we took a different approach. So instead of building the acoustic material inside, we put it on the roof.
Okay.
So in order to isolate us from the outside world and so forth, on the roof we have basically an entire patch of what would be our acoustic material.
Right. It's dead silent. Yeah. I mean, we are in Hollywood, so
yeah.
it's pretty noisy outside. Are those JBL?
Those are JBLs.
Those are nice.
Yeah, those are 4320s.
4320.
We do a couple things with them. Aside from playing tracks out here, when artists are done for the day and they want to hear their takes, we do a thing called ambience retrieval, which we get a lot of requests for that, where people come in with their tracks, and we literally pump music out of them,
Yeah.
and then record the other
either
end.
little dead rooms or it's some cheesy sounding stuff. These were the main monitors out at the original Cherokee studio.
Yeah.
Ranch up there. We did Steely Dan on these and everything.
Yeah. These era of JBL, they made like really cool stuff, and
People have forgotten how important the right cabinet is.
yeah, absolutely.
It's coming out and it's like, oh, listen to these. These are 30,000. It's like, yeah, but the record doesn't sound anything like this.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but it sounds great. It does sound great. But for studio, you need something that's going to give you back what
Of course.
you're working with. So
Of course.
those work great. And so when you get stuff in here, whether it's synths that aren't the best ones and you wish it sounded better, we can put up the Neumanns out in the room, not close by. I can put the Neumanns up out in the room and start to add real ambience. Room ambience here, there's about a 5 to 7 millisecond delay at this corner to the
Right.
end of it. So when you bring those up, it just stretches the ambience up.
Yeah.
It's like,
I actually did a video on doing this on drums. If you like, you record it in a space that is like a little booth or something, you can reamp them and do
yeah, of
that.
course. Yeah.
So you do use these for basically reamp and
Yeah.
real reverb too.
So yeah, it's the same idea. We have an original B3, originally made in 1961, 62. Originally made for Bruce. And after a few months on the road, some roadies broke the legs off.
Oh,
So
wow.
we turned it into a chop, as they call it. where
Yeah.
Basically, you give it a new cabinet. It's sitting on a table frame that came out of a restaurant. Although I don't know which restaurant it came out of.
some bar in D.C., I think.
Okay. And that's the Leslie that wasn't, you were having problem a few days ago, whatever.
Yeah, we're working on that Leslie right now.
Yeah.
It's not switching fast and slow speeds.
Awesome.
But we do have 2 Leslies, drew one with it, and it's got the original traveling trunk that they took the preamp and put in, which was supposed to be a We'll put a nice case for it later, and here it is, like over 40 years, and it's still in the same traveling trunk.
Yeah.
Moving along, drum kit, house drum kit, 1964 Camco kit, which we love the way it sounds. There's something about Camcos before they were DW that just, they work really well. These are private cue systems. You saw the brain in the other room. So what's nice about these is if you can't figure this out, you shouldn't be in the studio because you have volume and panning per channel.
Okay.
Done. Aside from that, you have a master volume which feeds a headphone out as well as a stereo out. So if I wanted to and I needed extra inputs on the mix, I could literally feed 16 inputs into that.
Oh, wow.
And have a stereo out of effects returns. What's also nice with this is on the headphone and main outs, I have a 3-band EQ. I have compression, and I even have a little ambience mic built in.
That's nice.
Because we do get drummers who, when they wear their drummer headphones and they can't hear the outside world, they kind of want to feel what's going on. So they can crank up their ambience without affecting anybody else's.
That's pretty smart.
So it does this well. And again, being this simplistic where you have level control and panning control, what more do you need? Some of the other things we've done since I started here is we color code our cables. So if you grab a green cable, it's a specific length. If you grab a black cable, it's a specific length.
I still use and have the cables that you built me, like the best cable I have.
Oh, well, thank you. But yeah,
and they're like, everybody loved those because you use the red, thingy. I love the vibe in this room.
Oh, well, thank you.
It sounds great. And it feels great. Like, it feels you just want to hang out here, which is something I think we lost nowadays. Well, everybody working at home.
We have a rule around here called the old fuck rule. And usually what happens is when people walk in through the studio door, they get about 1 to 3 feet before they go, oh shit, this is awesome.
It's super cozy, it's comfortable, you got carpets, the look is great, the lighting is great.
A lot of our acts that we've recorded here said, look, would it be cool, could we come back and write there? Write better, we're doing
there's a very important part of being in studio and in a studio like this. It's a place you want to be. Yeah. You don't just want to go in and rush the recording and come out. You sit on the couch, you write music, you arrange some ideas that might not have.
The last thing we can touch on before we go is you'll notice we don't have actual isolation booths. Yeah, and that's because again we want the musicians to be musicians, and we've noticed after years of doing this that the best performances come when everybody can hear each other and see each other and be all in the same space.
You also record vocals live here?
Oh, absolutely.
But I can't tell you how many live vocals we've got on the masters. It's really, people sing differently when they're playing.
Definitely, that's for sure.
As much as you need an isolation room for things, we can make our isolation rooms with our custom gobos.
Yeah.
You'll notice they run all the way down to the floor.
Yeah.
Baffles don't.
Which most baffles don't. So
yeah, I actually just got one. Smaller, but something like this for my place, just when I have to overdub.
It's perfect for us when we need to cut vocals with the rest of the band. We can throw something on top to isolate it further. But yet they have nice big windows that they can see everybody. Yeah. And you can hear how it changes.
Oh yeah, it changes completely.
They're also incredibly heavy. If you want something to stop, it's got to have mass. They've got to be at least 100 pounds a piece.
Yes.
So we have 2 sets of these that we can set up as needed.
Yeah, awesome. You can set up if you want to do things with live horns or whatever. We've got 6 of these, so you can set up a horn room with them. And it's great.
I'm pretty sure the difference is noticeable even from the phone, microphone. It's pretty isolated. All right, let's grab stuff and let's go to the API.
Right on. Absolutely.
All right.
Hands on my neck, hands grip my throat. Lift me up, man, take control. Heart is so gone.